What's up, Dirt Nerds? I'm George, and it is Ghost Story Part 2. Let's see what we're going to be digging into tonight. What's up, Dirt Nerds? I hope you had a great day. I know I did. I got my porch done. A little photo montage in the beginning shows the progress of the roof as it has gone. I've got my porch up, got the landing down, got the lid on, tar papers all down. The next thing is shingles, and then do the other side, shingles or paper, shingles done, roofs out of the way, and then I am free to go play and dig in my dirt. So let's go ahead and tell a little story. It may shake you, may not. We'll see how you feel at the end of the story. All right. So, tonight's story is not so much a hair-raising, crazy one like my very first ghost story. That's, well, the first one that I'm willing to tell. I have had a lot of ghost stories throughout my life that I can still remember all the way to very, very young. I mean, we're talking toddler age. I can remember things that happened to me that aren't explainable. Things that I've seen, things that have happened to me. There's no way to explain. So some of my stories I don't wish to tell, only because they just seem so... there's just no way. They seem impossible. But this one is pretty damn special to me, because shortly after this incident happened, my daughter was born. My firstborn, my child, my Jilly Bean, Miss Jillian Meisner. I love my daughter, love my kids, love all my kids. Both my sons and my daughter are very special to me. And if it wasn't for the intervention of the afterlife of this story, I might not be here. There's been several, but again, this is one I'm willing to tell. A friend and I, or a couple friends and I, my friend Jeremy and his girlfriend Jessica, we were all out hiking, exploring the woods, doing our thing. And, oh, hang on, here comes the wife. Sorry about that. Minor interruption. So, I'm going to try and make this quick because it is really, really, really cold out here. You can tell it's dark. It's dipping down into the 20s out here at night, so freezing. Yeah, I'm freezing. So, my friends and I decided to go hiking through the hills and the mountains behind where we were living at the time, which was South Prairie, obviously Washington State. It's a very little town, little tiny town. A lot of the area around there was a lot of coal mines and logging camps and everything else. So we decided just to go off and go explore the woods and go for a hike. We knew that the river interceded near behind where we're at, where we're hiking. So decided to go try to find a way down to the river and chill out because it was a summer day. It was nice. Well, we come across an area where it pretty much sheer dropped. I mean, it went down, but then it concaved in. So it was, we could look over the edge. We look over that edge, and it was all you could see was treetops. You could see canopy, but you couldn't see how far below the canopy was the ground. And of course, brought a lot of rope. We had all kinds of things. We set up for going hiking. We were going to do some bouldering. We were going to do some exploring. So my friend Jeremy decides, you know what? Let's go ahead, tie off. There was a huge pine tree right there, right by the edge, that was well anchored. It was an old growth tree, so we weren't worried about it falling off under our own little tiny weight people. My friends Jeremy and Jessica, they were all about the same size as me. We were all tiny people. I mean, I weigh at my apex, I'm 165, 5'10". I'm not a big man. I'm not tall. I'm not thick, but I have some endurance. So we decided knot up the rope, drop it over the side, and rappel our way down under this concave. It was so beautiful. So we rappelled down, and we basically just scaled the rope down, made our way to the bottom, and started exploring. And then we found a cave. Oh, it was huge. Obviously, it was something probably for coal. They probably had it that big so that a coal car could back up in, load up, and go. I'm not sure if it was a complete tunnel because we only got maybe 100 yards back in and it was collapsed. And we're all just kind of standing, the three of us were standing there kind of looking at each other like, we need to get out of this cave. Something don't feel right. The three of us were kind of, we got to get out of this cave because we saw that cave in and something didn't feel right. So we left the cave and we started exploring around and we found a boulder face, and it was tremendous. This was a solid boulder, and oh God, the thing was immense. It was immense, and it wasn't like bedrock. I mean, it was bedrock, but it was one big rock. I mean, we're talking at least 50, 60 feet across, and at least, double that going up. And it kind of, from where we're at, it kind of concaved up, but halfway up it was split. So there was literally about a 6 to 8 inch shelf of rock face, where that rock had split and then kind of shifted in a little bit. So it kind of came up, had a little tiny shelf, and then went up. So that little tiny shelf was about 20 feet up off the ground. I mean, from dirt level. So to access that rock face, we had to cut a bunch of little cane trees, about 2 to 3 inches, not much more than 3 inches, but most of them were about 2 inches around. And we hacked them all off, cleared our area, made a path to the boulder face, and we opened it up a little bit so that we can see where we can get some handholds and start climbing. Because yes, I did some bouldering when I was little. I didn't like climbing cliffs or major mountain faces, but bouldering was fun. Bouldering was easy. I can do that. So we climb up, standing on that ledge, and we start trying to figure our way around to get up the second half. Well, friend Jeremy, he kind of figures his way up. He navigates it. Now at this point, it's starting to rain. Not a big rain, but it's a nice misty, getting everything wet kind of rain. And Jeremy went up. Well, as he went up, he hit a log that busted free and knocked a bunch of debris down across the face of the boulder. And one big boulder struck my friend Jessica right on the back of her skull and opened her up. And she was bleeding pretty good. Kind of scared me a bit. So we fashioned the rope up as a harness. He was already up the boulder face. He was already at the top. We fashioned the rope, got her up. She was out of there. Now, by the time I was ready to go up, I was spent. I'd been standing on my tiptoes on that ledge and trying to help Jessica get up, with a split in her head, freaking out like, oh my God, my friend's going to die right here out in the middle of nowhere because she's bleeding a lot and it's a big gash in the back of her head. And I'm panicking. So, well, I'm not panicking, but I'm like, okay, we need to hurry. So I get up and I get her, we get her all situated up there with Jeremy. He's already up another, 50 feet or so. I don't remember how far up it was. He was already up at the top of the boulder to the crest where he was safe. He got Jessica up there. She was safe. I couldn't make it past because it came up and it kind of did one of those. It kind of came out, back out, and then up. Well, I couldn't get past the out. I got just to the apex and and down I went. And I would slide back down to the ledge. My third attempt, it was like I got, I'm at this point now panicking because my friend's up there bleeding profusely from her head, from a boulder smashing her on the head. I'm starting now to panic. Well, we know what panic happens. Bad things. I start my way up again, final try, and I start shaking, and I lose my grip. I couldn't hold on to the rope. There was nothing for me to grab hold of, and I slid straight back down. I hit that lip, like I said, and we're about 15, 20 feet up. It doesn't seem very far, but 15 to 20 feet after you've already gone up another 10 feet. So I'm now 30 feet up, slide down. I hit that ledge and eject straight back out. The only thing going through my mind at that point, I'm going to die. Because below me is humongous boulders and 2-foot spikes sticking out of the ground from where we cleared all the cane trees that are now cut at a nice 45-degree angle because we just went in and cleared everything out. Didn't think about leaving all these spikes in the ground. I thought that was it. I'm dead. I saw my life flash before my eyes. I saw my past. I saw my childhood. I saw everything. And at that same instant, as I'm falling backwards and I'm going, I hit the thing and I went straight backwards. Hit that lip. And you know what? I'm dead. There's no way I'm going to survive this. There's just no way. Here I am again, going out there, having fun, adventuring in the woods, and I'm going to die. All I feel is a small tug, and then it was like I landed on pillows. I was just literally like somebody had caught me in the air and set me on the ground. And I closed my eyes at that point. I was like, no, if I'm going to die, just let me close my eyes. I don't want to see the end. I opened my eyes and I saw blue sky. I saw trees. It's like, well, this is an awesome heaven. And then I started looking around. It's like, I could see the rope coming down. I was like, I'm still here. Well, I start trying to slowly move my neck, move my back, my legs, my arms. One leg was a little wrapped up on the rope so that I couldn't really, go anywhere, I couldn't just stand up. But nothing was broke. Everything moved. There was no pain at all. I landed about an inch from the top of my head, cracking into about a good, 4-foot round boulder that was right there on the ground. Every part of me, it was like a cartoon. Every part of me was literally laid down in between all of the spikes. Like there was spikes all the way up to my crotch, to my armpits, next to my head on either side. There was a boulder here. There was spikes here. There was no logical reason why I should have survived. But at that very instant, right before I hit the ground, I felt arms, I felt hands, I felt somebody catch me. Now, it could have been something from that little cave that we'd found, that there was a big collapse. The whole end of that cave had been collapsed in. We don't know if there was a big mine collapse, like people could have died there. Or it could have been the spirit of that child that I had found out in the desert when I was little. All I know is that there was a guiding force that caught me and put me down on the ground in between literally death in microscopic amounts of distance. I mean, we're talking, my ear was touching a stick. My ear was touching a stick. My head was almost on that boulder. Everywhere around me, there was spikes from these trees that we'd cut down. And I landed perfectly without touching one of them. And I swear somebody caught me and set me down. There was no oof, I didn't get my breath knocked out of me, nothing. Nothing. There was no injury other than a little tiny bit of rope rash because my leg was wrapped around the rope as I was climbing up, because I'd wrap the leg around my rope and help pull myself up. Well, I got a little bit of rash as that first came down, and then that was it. There was nothing else there to stop me from death, from cracking my skull open and then lying in the bottom of this valley in the middle of the forest bleeding to death. Because my friends were already halfway up the hill. I told them to just go. I'm going to make my way around. We'll figure it out when we get to the top. Take that one how you will, dirt nerds. Just another little story just before Halloween. I love you all. I'll see you soon.